This is a podcast all about Bears. You either cheering for this team or just pulling your hair. I like to take a minute, just sit right back and tell you how I became the #1 Bears fan.
That boy is Benny Hunter.
Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Before I get this episode started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. As you can see, your boy Keek on the Mic is officially back. Once again, I did post a message last week on YouTube, just letting you guys know my situation. I am finishing up with my master's in communication. I am almost done. Next week is my last week, but I'm officially back doing more Chicago Bears podcasts for you guys to enjoy. Once again, thank you guys so much for all your support. Stay and subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, this is Keek on the Mic, a Chicago Bears podcast, where I talk all about the Chicago Bears. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. I understand that I'm a little bit happy right now. The Bears just lost once again. They dropped to 4-8. Losing to the Arizona Cardinals 33-22. And people are probably wondering, Keek, why are you so happy? Well, guys, did you really think we were going to beat the Arizona Cardinals in the first place? Like, come on now. With Kyler Murray coming back, Hopkins coming back, we were overmatched. We were never going to win this football game. Yeah, it doesn't help that Andy Dalton threw 4 picks, and out of those 4 interceptions, it led to 20 of Arizona's points. So yeah, once again, we killed ourselves. Overmatched. Matt Nagy, overmatched. But guess what? The positive thing is that David Montgomery once again showed up. Robert Quinn got another sack. Roquan Smith showed up. We have some key pieces, guys, to look forward to in the future. But as of right now, this is just the next step in getting Matt Nagy out of Chicago. We're overmatched. This is nothing new. We've seen it before. Matt Nagy can't beat the good football teams, especially in the NFC. And now when I think about it, now we have to go to Lambeau Field next Sunday night in prime time and play the Green Bay Packers off of their bye. Things are going to get ugly for sure. But the most important thing for me as a Bears fan is trying to take the positives and going into next season with a new head coach, a new mindset, and a new team. We know by now that everyone is gone. I think it's proven with this game, and I think it's going to be proven even more after we possibly take a loss to the Green Bay Packers on primetime where the whole world can see. I'm anticipating that we possibly get embarrassed against the Green Bay Packers. And I'm not trying to be negative, but it's probably the truth. Matt Nagy has shown his inabilities as a head coach. And at this point, as much as it hurts, as long as the Bears keep losing, Matt Nagy is out at the end of the year. I don't think they're going to fire him. I know there was a bunch of rumors going around Thanksgiving about Matt Nagy being gone after the game. I didn't post about it. I didn't want to do a podcast about it because who knows if it was true? Who knows what we can believe? But in my personal opinion, I think it was true. I think Matt Nagy was going to get fired after that Lions game. But when that source leaked, the Bears panicked. It was a bunch of he said, she said stuff. And they ended up saying, you know what? Let Matt Nagy finish the year. And at this point, we're losing anyways. Just let him finish the year and he'll be out at the end of the year. Ryan Pace will probably go too. Hopefully Ted Phillips retires. And look, we have a whole new Chicago Bears football team. Anywho, the Bears drop another game against a quality NFC opponent, an NFC probably Super Bowl contender in my eyes. And you saw it today. We were overmatched. Really, I don't think we had any chance, especially when your veteran quarterback in Andy Dalton throws 4 interceptions, brutal interceptions. I can always think of one of those interceptions that wasn't his fault, and that was when Cole Kmet just straight up dropped the ball and it landed into the Arizona Cardinals defender's hand. Other than that, the other 3 were Andy Dalton's fault. It was squarely on Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton had a very rough outing today against the Arizona Cardinals defense. But like I said, let's look at some of the positives of this game. And I know it's hard to look at the positives. The Bears are 4-8. The playoffs are over. Let's stop talking about the playoffs. It's done. Now we need to look at the positives that we can take and say, all right, these are the core pieces for the Chicago Bears that we can take into next season. So let's look at them. David Montgomery. Oh my God, Matt Nagy, if you hand the ball to David Montgomery enough times during the game, you will see success. I don't know why in the hell it took Matt Nagy this long to figure that out. But guess what? 21 carries for 90 yards, 4.3 yards per carry, and a touchdown. Obviously, he had 2, but they called the second one back. David Montgomery had a very, very nice game. Obviously, Robert Quinn had probably one of the easiest sacks of his life. He's now at 12 sacks, 4th in the NFL. What a resurgent year for Robert Quinn. So just imagine next year when we get Khalil Mack back, get some guys healthy. Should be interesting. Obviously, Jakeem Grant. 5 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown. Very nice day for Jakeem Grant. David Montgomery also added to his total with 8 catches and 51 yards. They were using Montgomery a lot today, especially with the conditions at Soldier Field in Chicago. They were depending a lot on their running backs, and to me, both running backs did a very good job. Darnell Mooney, kind of a quiet day, 5 catches, 27 yards. Didn't really get him involved. But it's kind of hard to get someone involved when your quarterback can barely get him the ball. Andy Dalton, I can go on and on about Andy Dalton. He was bad. He was bad. At some points, I was like, just put in Nick Foles. You're paying him anyways. My hope is that Justin Fields is hopefully ready to go against Green Bay. Because at this point, it's not about winning football games. It's about developing Justin Fields. I know what you guys are going to say to me in the comments. Well, Keek, can Matt Nagy develop Justin Fields? No, he cannot. At this point, it's just about the experience. Getting Justin Fields the reps and experience that he needs. Get Matt Nagy the hell out of Chicago. And move on with our lives as Chicago Bears fans. And hopefully get a capable coach here in Chicago. Because at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to be in a rebuild. I think it's just going to be a nice little reboot of the team, getting a new coach in, getting a new offensive coordinator, maybe a new defensive coordinator, just depending on how things shake out. Maybe a new GM, maybe a new president. If we can do all those things, I think the Bears will be in a good position. When you look at it, I don't think the Bears are too far off today. 4 interceptions led to 20 of the Arizona Cardinals' points. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the Chicago Bears stand in their own way. And I think that's going to be the case until we get a new head coach, because no matter if it's the quarterback's fault, it's not like Matt Nagy's throwing those interceptions, but it starts with the head coach. And unfortunately, that's just how the business of the NFL works. So like always, Bears fans, make sure you comment down below in the comment section. Give me your opinion on this game as the Chicago Bears fall to the Arizona Cardinals 33-22. It's great to be back. Once again, thank you guys so much for all the support. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Kick on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. Other than that, I'll be back for all new Bears podcast right here on Kick on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can